Right?
Welcome, everybody, to the Synapse
This.
Philosophy Group. I'm your host, Dr. Haig John, and we are D.D. Palmer's The Chiropractors Adjuster, page 818. We're doing 8, 19, and 20 as well today, and in the 1910 book written by D.D. Palmer. Now, we're going to start on this paragraph, bottom paragraph 818. And I'm going to start off science is knowledge, ascertained facts, accumulated information of cause and principle systematized. I ascertained these truths, acquired instruction, heretofore unrecognized regarding the performance of functions in health and disease. I systematized and correlated these principles, made them practical. By so doing, I created, brought into existence, originated a science which I named chiropractic. Therefore, I am a scientist. I systematize the principles I discovered. I've reasoned that from cause to effect, searched into nature of physiological and pathological processes, investigated the phenomena embraced in health and disease, assigned rational cause for existence of normal and abnormal function, answered the questions, what is life, in quotes, and founded a science and philosophy upon the basic principles of tone. This knowledge I have given to the world, therefore, I am a philosopher. D.D. Palmer, page 818. You
That
know,
paragraph just makes me smile.
it's a lovely thing. And where we, you know, step out of our ego and step into who we are, who we're meant to be. And that's D.D. Palmer saying, I have declared this is my work. I have done it no other. And, this is a time he's defending himself. This is the chiropractor's adjuster. We are 15 years into chiropractic. And how many schools, Dr. Barry isn't on here with us today, but he would know how many schools were open by 1910, and it was quite a few from what I remember. So he's defending it. The next chapter on 819 is the Fountainhead, and thank you, Dr. Alan Lichter, for saying for mentioning read that paragraph first, and it was valuable.
What it does is he's saying, I did a lot of work. I just didn't pick this out of the blue. And he's known to have had a large working library that he carried with him every place, on horseback mostly.
Now,
And
exactly, and there have been
and
a
he did a lot of research and studied a lot to come up with this. It didn't just happen that he just stumbled on it. I mean, he did a lot of work, and he talks about that in the next portions, in the next two chapters, actually.
well,
But
it's
that's but
9 years.
claiming that here. He's saying, I didn't just think of this. I worked to get to this. I'm a
And that's where
scientist and
a
a
lot of
philosopher.
people make the mistake. And it's a lot of, there's a certain group that says, as he stumbled upon it, and they give BJ credit. He adjusted him by mistake, and that's a lie, a giant one, and it's a mistake. And he worked for years accumulating knowledge, just like you said, and read everything there possibly was to read about human physiology, human neurology, and all those things. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Anything else you want to say? We're going to keep moving.
No, let's rock.
The Fountainhead, 819. I am the Fountainhead of Chiropractic, all in caps. It originated with me. It was my ingenious brain that discovered its first principle. I was its source. I gave it birth. To me, all chiropractors trace their chiropractic lineage. He is the father of chiropractic, 100%. Pseudos have drunk from the fountain of knowledge, which flowed from the source, excuse me. They have listened to the teachings to the discoverer and developer of the grandest and greatest science of this age. Would-be fountain heads have quenched their thirst at the de, de, I don't know how to say that.
Debussy, Deboucher, I
Debouché
think.
for science knowledge. that which is specific, and when contaminated, get contaminated with streams of therapeutical ignorance, they parade themselves before the public with deceit, falsehood, self-egotism, proclaiming that they are the fountainhead, and that they have captured the Fountainhead school. Why is Dee Dee talking about this right now? 800 pages in. And it's multiple times because you have to restate it. I'm thinking about this too, is how much are we educating people? I had a little rant and rave. I'm not going to rant and rave like that at the next New Beginnings, but we have come so far but never gotten anywhere in chiropractic. Let's be real. We have gotten a little bit of notoriety, some cracks and bumps. And Monday morning, I got one of my patients came in, and some guy, I'm not even going to call him a chiropractor, taught him how to do a ring dinger on his own neck. And he died.
Ah!
He died at a wedding of the bride's or the groom's stepfather-in-law or something like that. And I heard the story this morning, Monday morning. And is that where we've come as chiropractors, showing people how to tie a noose around their neck and pull it? Come on. I mean, this is where we've got to stand up for these principles and say that's bullshit. And that type of adjusting should not be done. And you can't teach anybody to adjust themselves. It's the energy exchange of life. We're not mechanical beings. We need to be the energy around us and around everyone and be touched, breathe each other's air, get touched by the energy and the codes that we share with each other. So this is why I have this rant today, why I wanted to talk about this, of how far have we gotten from what our father of chiropractic has given us. Because it's not complicated. There's a lot of people. I'm not saying, you only have to move one vertebra. It's more than that. But doing something like this and showing people how to wring their own neck and end up killing them, come on. We have to think bigger. We have professionals here doing amazing things with people's neurology. And that's my rant today, extending it
And not
from.
to leave out all the other therapeutics people in our profession are adding in to do on the side. Even if you just consider vitamins and minerals are therapeutics in our terminology.
And
That's not to say that people don't need them, but is it our job to be pushing them in the office? I don't know. That's
if
not.
you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none, period. Okay? You can't be a jack of all trades. You're a master of none. And you know what? Go ahead, Bob. You just unmuted.
Yeah, so we remember that Dee Dee said, I take my chiropractic straight.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love that because that's the essence of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That is the essence. Exactly right. And when I go to there's some people I go to, and there's some people I don't go to in my town, and they all do good work. It's what I don't prefer. I don't need to be stretched before I'm adjusted. I don't want a hot pack laid on my back. I don't need somebody to stretch my neck out this way and stretch my neck out that way. It's like, come on, man, can't you adjust me? It doesn't take that long to move the vertebra. You're trying to add value to me that I'm not even paying you, right? You don't need to do all that stuff. Adjust me, get on with it. And anyway, I have this rant because now that reputation it's not the guy that showed him the ring dinger, it's the chiropractor that showed him this, that everyone in that family, the entire church or synagogue that guy belongs to, everyone in their town, it'll be in the newspaper. It's not going to say, oh, the guy tried to do a chiropractic adjustment and failed. No, the chiropractor showed him how to do this thing that's not even a chiropractic adjustment, and it took his life. His family's not going to be happy about that. I guarantee it. Can they blame it on that guy? Legally, probably not. I don't know. But, spiritually, it's still on his hands, I would say. So, and this came from a patient I've literally been seeing, 19 years, I think, in my office. She came in very upset about it. And she was at the wedding of another patient that referred her to my office. And, I'd been seeing even longer. So, it was two people that I would defend chiropractic, but they know that was not chiropractic, but it was the licensee, the person with a license to adjust, using that for other means. And you can I cannot adjust myself. Trust me, I try when I feel terrible. I'm trying to adjust myself until it doesn't work. But you got to get to somebody else to serve us, right? Anyway, that's my 15 seconds. Webster says, Fountain Head, primary source, original first principle. There can be one primary source
Did you
of
want
the
to start
first
at the
principle.
beginning of that?
Pardon?
Did you want to start at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay,
Didn't I read
sorry.
that?
Okay.
Didn't I read that? Pseudos have drunk from the fountainhead of knowledge, which flawed from the source.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, okay. Webster says, fountainhead, primary source. There can be one primary source of the first principle of chiropractic. I am the originator of the fundamental principles that disease is a condition produced by subluxated vertebra. Sub hyphen luxated, and I think that's important. Vertebra, which impinge upon nerves as they pass from occluded intravertebral foramina of the spine. To say that the building in which we receive the principles of chiropractic is the fountainhead edifice. Oh, or that the school he founded several years after the discovery is the Fountainhead School, or that Davenport, the city in which he first promulgated the science, is the Fountainhead City, or that a lad of 13 years of age when I began to publish for the first time in the world's history that pressure on nerves is the cause of disease, was the primary source, the originator of the first principle, which his father discovered, and by years of close study developed into a science, shows ignorance of the meaning of the fountainhead or the innate desire of a rascal to rob his parental benefactor. This barefaced falsehood reminds me of the obliging Turk who exhibited two skulls of St. Paul, one when he was a boy of 13 and another when advanced in age. I wonder who he's talking about here. I don't know. I might give you a guess. I'm thinking he's talking about his son and in the Fountainhead. Something
Well, yeah.
probably happened when he was writing this for him to go on a rant about his son, Captain Dr. B.J. Palmer. The head, he said, study for years. What he says earlier in this book, for 9 years, he was practicing as a magnetic healer and studying this before he delivered a 9 years of just studying misplaced vertebra before he delivered the first adjustment. The head that was yet remaining the primary source, the originator of the principle for which was developed the science of chiropractic. Its owner lives and is the author of this volume. Even death cannot rob him of being the fountainhead of chiropractic. It is a well-earned honor which either he nor any other, which neither he nor any other can bestow upon any one. Didi's saying it is mine. It is my brainchild. He had the inspiration. Spirit came to him to give him the wisdom to deliver chiropractic and the energy and the fortitude to stick with it. BJ was 13 years old when, I believe it was 13. I did the math once, it's been a while, when Harvey Lillard received that first adjustment. 13-year-old boy would not have kept it, or a 14 or a 15 or a 21, alive and thriving and educating all those years. We have to give credit where credit is due, and that's D.D. Palmer. I love D.D. Palmer. I love B.J. Palmer. I really feel D.D. is feeling unappreciated, right? The head that remains is a prime. Oh, did I already read that? There can be what?
I think Didi's feeling like he's like BJ is co-opting him and taking the money that he's running to school and saying this is the Fountainhead, come and study here. And Didi's saying, hey, me, I did
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
He's the student, I'm the teacher. The Fountainhead is here, not where he is.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. There can be what but one fountain head of chiropractic, one primary source, one original who discovered it, the first principle, and that one is myself.
Period.
Period. Next page. He gets that right at the end, I'm sure on purpose. I and not another discovered the first principle on which I built the science of chiropractic. When I adjusted Harvey Lillard on September 1895, I did not have a school until 4 years later, where the Fountainhead, where was the Fountainhead during those 4 years? Was I the primary source, the originator of the first principle, or was the school, which came 4 years later? Can the fountainhead of a stream be miles below its original origin? Can a fountainhead, the primary source, the origin of the first principle, be transferred from me to the building or the school or a city or a child or to a child? During the first years of chiropractic existence, when BJ was a lad, sometimes we had a student or students, but often we had none. Where was the fountainhead when we were minus a school? No school, no fountainhead, no school, no primary source, no school, no origin of first principle, no school, no originator. If the teachings of chiropractic constitute the fountainhead, then there are many fountainheads as there are schools, as many primary sources as there are teachers, as many originators as the first principles as there are students. With such misconception born of absurdity, B.J. Palmer and others assume the ownership of the fountainhead. Registering stolen property does not create ownership. Whoa. Okay.
That's calling it out right there, eh?
He's calling it out. You stole this from me. And, that's where some of the old school guys, Pasquale was one of them, he didn't care about BJ. He talked about DD, BJ stealing the school and all the controversy going along with that. They tried to disprove, and they still say it, disproving that BJ, hit DD with the car, all those type of things. Who knows? I don't even know about that, but we're going off of DD's writing right here and BJ's. And I know in BJ's later life, you read those readings, he admired his father, he revered him, he revered the work that he did. And Simon sends on, he said he was reading a green book. And as BJ got spiritual, people thought he went crazy. He said that in our podcast. All those are the years that BJ went crazy. But I think he began to realize his research was extremely important, but it's the spiritual content and getting back to that spirituality and D.D. Palmer and giving him the respect that he deserved was about that time. And I think absolutely amazing. Anyway, how's everybody feel about this so far?
Good. I think we want to remember, BJ ultimately was a good promoter. And
Oh,
without his ability to speak and promote and relate to people, chiropractic wouldn't be what it is today. Um, but his father is certainly the originator, and he had every right to be pissed off when he's writing this about stuff that BJ was doing at that time.
Now think about this, and absolutely, what he learned from Barnum, TD Barnum, TD Barnum, I think is his name,
P.T.
right?
Barnum.
PT Barnum, and all the other things. He was a marketer. He was amazing at what he did. Absolutely. I don't and I would tend to agree with you, Alan, is that we wouldn't be where we are today without BJ Palmer and his efforts and marketing. No, I back up, chiropractic what may have not have even survived.
It's a
So
possibility.
possibility for sure. And we honor BJ. I like I said, I love BJ, but we have to literally call out the truth about some of this stuff
Yeah.
too.
When you say P.T. Barnum, one of the Barnums lived not far from BJ in Sarasota, and they
Yeah.
were good friends. It's
We've
when
had
I
a
was down
deep
there a number of years ago and went to visit it for an ICA convention down there, and went to BJ's house and went to the Barnum house, and they talk about that they were good buddies. He used to go down there and visit all the time.
they had memorabilia there. I've been to the BJ Palmer house before. It's torn down now, from what I
Yeah.
understand. And the Sid Williams owned the house right next door to it. I've been to both of them. I feel honored and blessed to have even just walked on the floors there. And we've got some amazing pictures. I actually had Sid Williams sign my diploma at uh, at BJ Palmer's house. So that was a blast. And it was truly amazing. And God bless them both on their journeys in the spirit world, because they've given us the blessing. I can't imagine life without chiropractic. I really, personally, I can't imagine why anybody is not receiving chiropractic care. It's just beyond me. Go ahead, Bob.
You know, there's a reason why your name was Palmer.
Thank
There you go. I never thought about that until just now. Never thought about it.
you. I had never thought about that either. Thank you
Jeez
so much.
Louise.
Oh man.
Man. Must be all that dessert you eat at New Beginnings. We had a great New Beginnings. That was a lot of fun. I got a lot out of it. I had a few rants and raves myself on stage, and I think I got a little bit of a message across because I had some news before then and what we're seeing in chiropractic, and partly of what I'm talking about. And we've got to just wake up. It's so easy just to sit back and let it happen. But and sometimes you got to get loud. You got to stand up and you got to speak up and you got to be loud, or no one's going to hear you and get run right over. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Alan, I'm telling you, I had to take my shirt off. It was, you had to get out of there. It was so hot in there, in a good way.
We turned up the heat. I recorded it. We'll post some of that soon. I'm going to record it. We're going to put it up into pieces and record it. I want to get all of you guys. We're going to have to make a schedule for our interviews. I'd love to have you guys on the podcast. We were getting the speakers on before, and that took up a lot of time. And a wonderful, wonderful conversations with great chiropractors. And we haven't done with our group is having us individually on an interview. So I'm going to send everybody a calendar link soon. Okay.
Sounds good. The well, probably doesn't belong on this call. I was going to say there's some serious turmoil in chiropractic, and there's challenges in the ICA now. And I was an ICA rep, and I was an officer of their assembly, and I saw issues happening back then, and there was issues. I was very involved when some of the problems started to happen a few years ago, and that we voted and we managed to get a group of us managed to try to control what was the changes that were trying to be made, and then the board just overthrew what the people's vote in the assembly in the membership was, and it's a horrible thing now. And And I thought things were going to turn around when Cordero was made the CEO, and he quit and said to a friend of mine, I don't know how you guys have stayed here this long. That's how bad it's gotten over there. And that hurts me to my heart. ICA was BJ's association, and it hurts me that the things that are going on there. And I know Barry's still somewhat is involved because of the philosophy group. I was a founder in the philosophy group and a founding member, and I just hope that we can get things worked out over there. But my heart is aching.
We still have another group that BJ was a founder of, the Florida Chiropractic Society. Very important group. I've been on the board of directors for the FCS, and he made sure when that other group began, we need a chiropractic group in Florida. And so all is not lost. And I know that group is very, very potent and powerful. So we have to stand up and we have to get loud because there's a lot of meekness in our profession. We want to run quiet and be meek, and you will get freight trained by the masses of the ones that want everything else, everything else, everything else in the profession, from shooting you up. And I've done this. There's the one group, the other big group in chiropractic, and I'm not even going to say their acronym, but they spend $250,000 in per quarter in their pack. And now I know how hard it is to squeeze 10 cents out of a chiropractor. Okay. Now, I don't know where that pack money is coming from because you don't get that money back. You can't write it off as a what do you call it? A donation. It's not a donation. It's not a 5013C. It is money you give and you're not writing it off. It's
Bob, you're muted. I saw your mouth moving.
and me, am I blocked? There is no money that's coming from, I don't know if it's coming from chiropractors. They got deep pockets. $250,000. It's public record. You can look up all the packs. I look them up quite often, actually. I want to know what people are doing. When you see big money like that in our pack, man, I tell you, it's not easy to get money for our FCS pack and the other packs out there, political action committees.
No, they
So
probably have people like foot levelers donating to them
let's
as
not even advertise these things. Don't say the words.
but
They're not paying me.
there
I'm
are
not
groups,
putting their
there are
names on anything.
businesses that are contributing to them so that they can write it off because they're donating to that other chiropractic group,
But that pack,
and then they
they
can
can't
use
write
that
it
money
off.
for pack money. Yeah.
They're putting that pack money in because they know it'll make them a lot more, right? And contributing to the end. There is one of the universities that I went to in school, we couldn't find parking. It was cheaper to get a parking ticket parking on the street than it was getting a parking ticket on campus. And now they made an entire vitamin amphitheater there. And most of the parking. I think that's unbelievable to me. And it must have cost you'd have to give them a big chunk of money. And I heard it was very small. Let's be honest. It's unbelievable what's happening in profession everywhere. We're becoming the minority. The minority has to stand up and be loud, or you will not get heard. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? You don't put it on the whole wagon, you put it on the wheel. So you got it. We got to stand up. That's why I did it, was to break the energy. So I'm going to make a post about that anyway. So I don't know if I probably freaked out people, scared them. I don't know. But I had a good time and it felt good letting it go because I was pissed off. Anyway, I'm going one step farther. I and another discovered the principle on which I built the science of chiropractic.
And not another.
My mistake. Thank goodness. Thank you. I, Ming Didi, and not another, discovered the first principle on which I built the science of chiropractic when I adjusted Harvey Lillard in September 1895. We did not have a small school until 4 years later, where the Fountain Head during those 4 years. Was I the primary source, the originator of the first principle, or was the school, which came 4 years later? Can a fountainhead of a stream be miles below its origin? Can the fountainhead, the primary source of the origin of the first principle, be transferred from me to a building, a school, a city, or a child? Oh, I read that already, didn't I?
Yeah, that's okay. It worth repeating.
It's worth repeating. Did I read the next one yet?
No.
During the first years of chiropractic existence, when BJ was a lad, sometimes we had a student. Oh, I did read all that already. I'm
Yeah, you
sorry.
did. You're right.
Because I want to talk about that next part actually. You know what? It's tough. You know, I do seminars. Thank God it's not my only business. I don't do it to make money. I'm going to say that right now. I lose money when I do a seminar. You don't make money doing that stuff. It's out of love, and you got to go out and serve. It's expensive. I got to close my office. A few shekels you make is nothing to having your office open during the day, you know? So it's not about money, and sometimes no one shows up.
You got to
So
travel. You got to rent a room.
you got to rent
Yeah.
a room, you got to fly, you got to advertise, you got to, work like hell and advertise, right? And you got to travel, you got to spend time away from your family. It takes me until Wednesday or sometimes Thursday to get my rhythm back after traveling. When I go to the West Coast, which I'm teaching innate newborn at Life West uh November 15th. I'm speaking on assembly on the 14th. And I know California, man, it's hard on me. And to come back, but I'm doing it to serve. Because I know it's not what I'm doing today. It's the voices and the people we touch. All the right people will be in the room, whether it's one or 101. It'll be the right people in the right time that are there to hear the message, period.
And every
Okay?
one of them will affect hundreds of others.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So it's the mission is important. It is the mission that is absolutely important. So I'm going to read more because this is such a powerful chapter. I want to keep going with it. I am the fountainhead of chiropractic. I am the discoverer, the developer, and fountain of this, the grandest and greatest science the world has ever known. That is powerful and extremely important. On page 61, volume 2 of the Science of Chiropractic, date 1907, BJ says of me, his actions and thoughts are sharp, alert, and ahead of the times. He holds an enviable and honored position because others are being taught to reach his intellectual level. His every thought was why, big bold letters. Originality combined with strict discipline and strict to stick to itiveness. I like that. Joined with principles and honor has made him many enemies, the majority of which are knowing him better, turning from en, en, enmity, enmity. How
Enmity.
I don't even know what that word means. To respect and reverence. Many students have been placed on the royal road to wealth and have and few and a very few have more mercenary
And
avaricious
very few have for mercenary, avaricious green tried to undermine his honor.
avaricious green. We got to look that one up. Tried to
I think it's
undermine his
supposed to be
honor.
greed.
These cowards have failed at every turn. One by one, the increasing pressure of right has driven them into the line of truth and justice. End quote. Where's the beginning of that quote? All the way up here where he's quoting BJ. Excuse me. This is an entire quote from BJ Palmer, page 61, volume 2. And that's important. He's saying, of his dad. Hey, man, very smart. He has been chased down, ridiculed, blah blah blah. I'm defending my father, and I think that is powerful too. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
In
And
that
it's
first
interesting because
adjustment,
he also is talking about what Didi's saying about him effectively in that last thing about the students have placed the royal road to wealth and few have for mercenary, avaricious, I think it's greed instead of green, but tried to undermine his honor. It's like, although BJ never disparaged his father, he made a lot of money based on his principles.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. And you know what? And okay, let me read the last part here. In the first adjustment given Harvey Lillard in September 1895 was the principle from which I developed the science of chiropractic. In that adjustment originated the art of replacing vertebra. In the succeeding 15 years, I have endeavored to develop from that demonstrated fact such principles together with the art of adjusting as constitute the science of chiropractic. His closing statement of that chapter. Now, we're talking about a little bit of where we're going, what we're doing, chiropractic itself, our future. Part of reading this stuff out loud, recording it, making it a part of history. I was at New Beginnings and I asked how many people have read cover to cover 1910, this 1910 book, and there was a lot. I was so happy to see that. And there were a lot of people, and that was really exciting to me. Most of them had gray beards, just like our friend Dr. Alan Lecter up there, and none of the youngins. A lot of the teachers, people have read glimpses. Very often I hear misquotes of this book. We set in motion, setting the story straight, making sure we have that set, reading DD's stuff, not the other stuff, and really creating a tone for chiropractic itself, whether people listen to it today or 500 years from now. And we're seeing our page, there are a lot of people viewing this stuff that they wouldn't normally view, and they're not chiropractors. And I'm excited about that because we're getting our philosophy out bigger and bolder. There are a lot of people using our terms, dis-ease, I see everywhere now. Massage therapists do it. This person does it. The naturopath does it. Everybody, dis-ease. That's chiropractic to me. I was reading it in 1910. Where'd you get it from? Right? And power makes the body, heals the body. I see similar wording of that from all kinds of people. The podiatrist, who knows, right? So this is setting the story straight. This is chiropractic. We have not held the reins properly. We've been sloppy. We've dropped the ball. And it's time to shape this ship up. When we have principal groups that are closing and failing and their memberships don't even matter. Quite honestly, we're talking about a group that doesn't matter because there's very little membership. So ultimately, we've got to, how do we step up our game? Do we have coalitions? We're trying to coalesce and come together. Innate adjusting is part of this coalition we're forming. I don't hear much from them. I don't really know what's going on. I had to ask questions. We have to have loud voices. Mine can be very loud, but it doesn't come from screaming and yelling all the time. But it does from writing massive campaigns of letters to RFK, creating things with the president that is currently there, Donald Trump, whoever it might be. We've got to get louder, speak louder, stand up for who we are. Because right now we're getting freight trained right over. Maha means nothing in the chiropractic world. We are not called to the table. And I said this, and I'm very proud of Gilles Lamarche. Thank God he is there. He's the only one from Life University or any university that is being called to Maha and goes to the meetings with RFK, stands with Del Bigtree and all these other people. It's only Gilles Lamarche. So I'm very proud of him, and we have to say his name, but I wish I was reading 80 people's names. 100, 5 would be better than 1. Okay? So this is where we have to stand up for our principles now. People, I think, thank God, people are starting to see things. You got to sharpen your sword. We've got to sharpen our pencils and start writing. I'll send you a pencil if you need one. My kids have them all over the place. So what do? I'm doing the best that I can. I'll add more. We'll do more. But this tone has been set. So that's my rant for the moment. Anybody else have any closing bits?
I want to go back to that last sentence you read in here before we disappear and
Yeah.
point out that what he says there is the principles together with the art of adjusting and as constitute the science of chiropractic. So principles, philosophy, art, and science in that order right there. Philosophy, art, and science.
That's the way I have always written it. And, we get corrected because sometimes he does use science first.
Well, I think that the science supports the others in my mind.
Definitely.
And actually in the next section in knowledge, he talks about being intuition and thing, and so that is and how it works with science. But recently I read something about the inversion of science, art, and philosophy being talked about, and we have to remember the philosophy is the key. That's the top of the pyramid, and art and science support it.
That's yes, absolutely, positively. Knowledge, page 821 is going to be our next reading, and we're going to discuss that one. And I'm really excited to read some of that. I haven't read the whole thing yet. I'm actually skipping through it, but we'll be back next Tuesday. We're
that
back
and
on
some
the
explanations is a lot of good stuff. I just read them today.
Which one?
That and the next one, some explanations to the next chapter after that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get there. I'm not there yet.
There's a lot of deep stuff in those two. I'm telling you what.
Well, we're getting to it. We might do both, or if we got enough discussion, we might then each one of those be its own thing. I don't know. But good points. Hey, God bless you. It was great.
I'm so glad to see you guys again.
Great to see the Crystals live and in person this past weekend, and I miss you dearly. And Alan, great to see you. I know with my kids and things, it's been a little tough to have the Tuesdays, but we're back in action. I'm excited. I'm thrilled for it. And a lot of people have been asking about it. So, have a gorgeous day. Enjoy your tomorrow. And God bless you. I'll see you next week. Oh, shameless plugs. I got to forget. Okay. Life West, 14th and 15th of November. Sherman College, January 31st at Sherman College. All right, end of my shameless plugs. I love you guys. Good night.